Over the past couple of months in 2022, we have seen mortgage rates continue to go up. And for first-time home buyers like my husband and myself, and I'm sure a lot of you, were wondering whether or not we should buy now or wait. That's the topic of this video. Stick around. Hey guys, it's Justine with Debt Free Millennials, the channel to help you crush your debt and live payment free. If you've just stumbled across this video doing YouTube search or Google search, welcome. I am a renter, a lifelong renter, renting currently in San Diego with my husband, and we currently pay $2,895 a month for a 2-bed, 2-bath condo. And of course, we are just itching to get into our first home. But here's what I've seen in the news recently that I wanted to share with you all. And we got to start with the Federal Reserve. Now, the Federal Reserve is basically in charge of making sure that the US economy and the financial system of our country is stable and that it is working in a way that balances out the supply and demand of what's going on in our country. And that, of course, includes the housing market. This past month, the Federal Reserve chair actually increased the interest rate by 0.5%. In addition to the Fed raising the rates by 0.5%, we can expect to see more rate increases over the course of the year. So as the rates increase, we're very likely going to see mortgage rates increase as well. So why did the Federal Reserve raise rates in the first place? Well, this is their answer to help solve the very big inflation issue that we have right now. We haven't seen inflation like this since pretty much the 80s. And so as the rates increase, you're going to see that it's going to be harder for banks to actually borrow money. And when it's harder for banks to borrow money, they actually pass on those costs to the consumer, making it harder for the consumer to borrow money by increasing those interest rates. And as a result, we're going to see those mortgage rates increase. So let's make the case for buying a house right now. Why would that be a benefit? Well, if we know the Federal Reserve has plans to continue to increase the interest rate over 2022, then we're probably going to want to lock in an interest rate on those mortgage loans now so that we can save money on interest later on throughout the year. Because if mortgage rates are around 5% in May and June, they could be 8% by the end of the year, and so you'll be very glad that you locked in this lower interest rate than if you had waited. Okay, in contrast to that, let's make the case for waiting. So as mortgage rates go up, there's going to be less buyers or less demand to purchase homes. And so as that demand goes down, you may see that sellers are going to stabilize in their home prices. So I don't necessarily believe that the prices will go down unless there was a house that was listed way above what the market is bearing. I think we would see prices stabilize over time, and so that could help you actually get a better deal than buying something that's way overpriced, such as what's going on right now. Spring and summer is always the hottest time in real estate, especially with families who are wanting to move in between the school year. It just makes it a lot easier for them, and plus moving is just so much more tolerable in the spring and summer months than trying to move in the middle of winter. So what are the mortgage rates today? As of today, it is 5.479%. Now this is going to vary state to state. I actually found this really awesome website called themortgagereports.com. And let me go ahead and throw a screenshot of this up here for you. The conventional 30-year fixed mortgage rate is 5.645%. Now that was up from yesterday when I was doing my research on this video. So if you are ever wanting to know what the current mortgage rates are for the day, you're gonna find it right here. I will leave a link to this website below for you to check out. In addition to that, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau also has established the interest rates and has them listed on their website. website. So let me show you exactly what this is. And it lists them by state, which I really like. So you could explore those rate options by using this little calculator over here. So you can show what your current credit score range is and then choose your state. I'm gonna go with where I'm at, California, and you know house prices are insane. So let's say we were looking at a house price of $950,000 and I have roughly $150 to put towards a down payment, and we are in San Diego County. Let me do this. 900,000. Here we go. Apparently a house price of $950,000, they're not going to show me the interest rates, but $900,000, you can see exactly which lenders are offering which rates. And I really want to know who the heck is offering 3.5%, because right now that sounds pretty amazing. But it says here in California, most lenders in our data are offering rates at or below 5.75. Now, if I was to look at homes in like my home state of Kansas, which the house price is going to be more like $400,000, then you can see that the interest rate is just slightly less, but not by much. So you're going to see interest rates pretty much teeter around that national average. If you're in the same boat as my husband and I, where we are renting, we are putting a big fat down payment into savings, into investments, with hopes that the larger our down payment is, the more attractive an offer might be when we get to that point. What do you do? What do you do? Well, I'll tell you what we're doing. We are still renting, and we signed another year-long lease, and we really do love our unit and we want to be patient with that. In that same vein, I want to make sure that we are not being overzealous by trying to jump into something just for the sake of jumping into home ownership without really thinking about, is this going to be a home that we see ourselves in for the next 10 years? Is this in a location where it's in a good school district, because we have a 1-year-old daughter now, and that's really important to us. And so you gotta think about the long-term effects of this. Now, somebody on the conservative side, aka Dave Ramsey, is going to tell you that your mortgage payment should not be more than 25% of your take-home pay. After taxes, after your deductions, should be 25% of your take-home pay. And that is just completely unrealistic for families living in high cost of living areas such as California. And so really we're going to look at a range of between 25% on the conservative side to 35%, which would be more realistic for somebody living in a high cost of living area. And so when I think about it in terms like that, then I am going to shop for houses that match the payment that I can actually afford. And that payment, that monthly payment amount, is going to dictate which houses and which price point I can actually shop at. So if I think I could shop at the $900,000 price point, actually I'm going to have to lower that based upon what I can afford for that monthly payment. And to go along with that, you'll want to make sure that your income levels are going to rise to that occasion. So make sure, I love this piece of advice from Shahida Hill, who has an incredible YouTube channel dedicated to mortgages and buying your first home. I will definitely link to her channel below for you to check out. But one of the things that she said that resonated with me is that you'll want to make sure that you are not underemployed currently, that you are actually getting paid your worth for the skill set that you have. You know that there is no other job out there that is going to pay you more than where you're currently at. Now, a lot of times, in my experience when I was in the corporate world, when you want to increase your salary substantially, it typically means that you've got to jump to a different company, that you've got to make those moves in order to see your income increase. Also, just think about your lifestyle when it comes to home ownership and your place of employment. If you are thinking about moving into the suburbs, will that affect your commute times going into the city to work at your 9 to 5? So a lot of companies now are offering remote and flexible work scheduling, and that could really help open up locations for you so that you aren't tied to being so close to that physical office. And I think we are also going to see a wave of people who are in these high cost of living areas like San Francisco, Austin, New York, Chicago, Chicago, I think we are going to see more people kind of move out of those high cost of living areas and into smaller towns, into more like suburbs, so that they can afford the house that they actually want. I would love to know in the comments below, are you currently looking to buy your first home? Are you in the same boat as us? Give us a big thumbs up if you like this one. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new here, and I'll catch you in the next one.